The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Can you hear me now? What about now? Can you hear me now? Okay, cool. So, 50 billion things on the face of the planet you could be doing, man. The fact that you allowed me to grace your screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated. More than I could verbally express. You have tuned in to the Dyrti-Lunatik show. Uh, Loon will be in shortly. He is running a little bit behind. I just talked to him, but he will be in. Um, we're just here to break down today's events, what took place. I'm gonna say it now, and I'm probably gonna say it again later. I'm not here to talk about Shador. I'm not here to talk about Shador in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I mean? I don't really want to talk about it. Um, but I will talk about what we have done in the first 3 rounds, bringing in 5 players. Um, I think that's tremendous. What happened? I froze up. Did I freeze up? Okay. Are we back? Are we back? We back. Are we not back? We back. We back. All right. Um. Yeah, the entire draft coverage talked about him enough, man. Alfredo. I don't. I don't really necessarily know what's going on with that, but at the same time, I don't even want to approach it because it'll take the whole show to talk about what's going on with him. And the quarterbacks that have gone before him that are really not to his caliber. But uh I digress on that. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about what we've done. And what we have done, I'll be honest, I wasn't excited about the second pick. I wasn't excited about Jake Beck or Betch, whatever his name is. And I don't mean no disrespect on that. I don't want to screw his name up. You know what I mean? So uh JB, you know what I mean? I wasn't thrilled with the JB pick. I'll be honest. I was okay with it, but I wasn't uh Raider Pete, I wasn't happy with moving back like we did. We moved back twice just to pick up the guy we picked up. That's why it didn't move the needle for me, bro. That's why I wasn't like you let all these good offensive linemen kind of go. You know what I mean? And then you decided to pick up some offensive linemen with your traded picks, right? which is fine. You picked up some picks. Hold on. For some reason I keep freezing up, man. Hold on. What is going on here? Let's close this. What's going on here? What is going on here? Whatever this is, let's close that. Yeah, close that. Close both of those. All right, so sorry about that. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled about the trading back just to pick up that guy. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't give our draft an A+. I'm not on that just yet, Ja. I wouldn't say A+, but I would say a solid A. Anywhere from a solid A to a solid B+. They're in that range for what they've done. Um, Look, there's not a lot to know about him, Alfredo. You know what I mean? There's really not a lot to know to really know about him. He's okay. He was the sixth ranked wide receiver. You know what I mean in this draft class. Um, he has potential. Uh, the way I see him as a bigger Hunter Renfro. That's kind of how I see him. I see him kind of in a state of a bigger Hunter Renfro. Can take a few more hits than Hunter Renfro. Roughly around the same speed. He's a slot guy. And that's my thing is if he's the slot guy, what do you do with Trey? You know, I don't really think Trey is an outside guy. But you know, you can turn a player into something. I mean, if you're using Jacoby on one side, you're using Bowers on the same side. You got Beck in the slot and Trey on the outside. That may work. You know what I mean? That may work. Maybe. It all depends on how Kelly schemes it up. But I will say the kid has solid hands. You know what I mean? He's got solid hands. He can catch. He's not slow. He's definitely not slow. So I can live with that. What I really enjoyed, like I said, the picks that I really enjoyed were the last three. The last three picks, I really enjoyed those three picks. Um, you got the corner, and you picked up two linemen. I don't care what you do from that point. I honestly don't care what you do from that point from there. Dude, what is going on? Why do I keep freezing up? What is going on? All right, hopefully that fixed it. Hopefully that fixed it. I do apologize for the brief interruption. Um, I just kept looking up at my screen and it was freezing. I don't know if it was doing the same thing for you guys, but you know, I try to stay in tune with the show. If it looks like it's frozen on my side, maybe it's frozen on your side. Um, we could get another running back or wide receiver later. Take a chance on one. It's not. I don't honestly. I don't see a reason to double dip at the running back position. I don't see. I really don't see a reason to double dip. Maybe a wide receiver, but as I was saying, I really like. I like the corner that we got and the two linemen that we got. As I said, you know, if you don't address this line, you know what I mean. Uh, if you didn't address this line, that first overall pick was for nothing. Well, not the first over, but our first overall pick, Genty. You know what I mean? If you get Genty, but then you don't put any protection around him, it's all for nothing. So I do appreciate the fact that they did address the offensive line. They got two guys that I feel can be some monsters on this offensive line for years to come. Not necessarily the first year. I believe they could come in and handle business if they had to. I don't know if they're guaranteed starters off the top, but I will say I do like the offensive lineman that we got. The corner I think is a really good corner. He's got phenomenal speed. Not gonna call him a ball hawk because that's not what he is. What he is a wide receiver converted into a cornerback. He played his first 3 years of college ball as a wide receiver and converted to a corner in his senior year. And he did pretty well. He had 3 interceptions, 18 tackles, something like that. I think he had 4 or 5 pass breakups. So not a guy that you're gonna rah shish boom bah for, but I think this is a guy that could match up well on the other side of Bennett, being that he's tall, being that he's fast, being that he played the wide receiver position. So mentally he can kind of fathom what they're trying to do. And over time he could really be a beast. I hate saying all over and over and over again. Let me see. Life as a Raiders fan revived. Yep. You ain't lying about that. I think they're going to be starting guards, but I don't want to force them in until they are ready. The boy out of Texas Tech, I think he could be a starting guard from day one. I do think he could be a starting guard from day one. But we'll just have to see what they do. The third round is the last chance for short-term projects at O-line. Shocking how every regime can't find a starting caliber linebacker in any draft. He said running back Jordan James. Good night, Raider. Hey, my 2 cents. Have a good one, man. Caleb Rogers has experience almost everywhere on the line. Yeah, I wouldn't play him at center, though. I wouldn't play him at center. Guard, tackle, yeah. Looks like your camera was unplugged. Plug it back in or select a different camera. Click the camera. What? What are we doing? Why did we even switch? What was the point of... Oh, man. Computer is tripping. Said Charles Grant is a sleeper old lineman. Yeah. No. They're both good. They both come in, learn, and be some monsters. I just think Caleb Rogers has a step up. You know what I mean? He's a member of Loon's channel. I see the linkage, bro. I'm loving the picks. Finally grown up in here. Hey, look, you're not lying. The picks are good picks, right? Like I said, because I was talking to Raider Twan earlier, and we had talked right after the Beck pick, and I was like, I'm not too thrilled about this pick. I need to see what they do with the rest of the picks that they traded back for, right? Now, I wasn't thrilled about the trading back, truthfully, but at the same time, I wanted to see how it was going to work. What did they have on their minds with those picks? And I will say, I am very happy. You know what I mean? Like I said, I give it a solid A to a solid B plus, somewhere in that. So it could be an A minus, a B plus. That's not a bad grade. That's not a bad grade at all. That's a really good grade. Salute to you too, Raider Knight, my guy. What's good? We drafted those two monster O linemen. Gotta protect Geno and open up holes for Genty. Yeah, got to, bro. You have to. And that's what I was saying last night. You know, if you pick Genty, you got to address your offensive line. If you don't address your offensive line, the pick is for nothing. So I'm happy. I got two offensive linemen out the deal. I got them early. I'm cool. I'm straight with the rest of the draft. Now you can go ahead and draft Shedeur. Now would be the perfect time. Now would be the perfect time. These picks will see time soon. Kappa, Miller, and Parham will be hurt 1/4 of the into the season. Hey, look, I don't wish nothing on our line, man. I don't want to wish no injury on our line, man. What's good, Twan? What's good with you, fam? Matter of fact, I was supposed to send this out earlier, man. I'm gonna send this to your IG right now, Twan. I'm gonna send this over to your IG right now. Give me one hot second, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to send out this real quick. Here we go. Ready Twan. There we go. Oh yeah. Let's see. What's up? Twan, check your IG, Brody. Check your IG. Pete, he will be a starter. Maybe. True O-line is addressed. Just hope they gel as a unit of 10 dudes in the O-line. Hey, hope they gel together too. I like the Porter pick. The thing that brings it down some for me was that Revel was available and I just preferred him. I hear you. Look, the Porter pick was nice, but I'll tell you what bothers me about the Porter pick. He's only got 1 year as a corner. You know what I mean? He's a wide receiver converted into a corner. So for me, that kind of, but big frame, can run for days, can sky high the ball, high point the ball all day. So I'm excited to see what happens because we didn't have any corners and we needed a corner. I wanted the boy out of USC. So we'll see. Do you think the NFL is trying to humble Shedeur by not letting any team draft him? I don't think that the NFL is blocking any team from drafting him. I was talking to somebody and it kind of made a little bit of sense of what they were saying. Basically, they were saying that it's the guaranteed money. It is kind of to humble him a little bit, but not in the sense of that the whole. I really think it's more or less. I really think they're really hating on his daddy more than they're hating on him. You know what I mean? I think NFL teams think that Dion is going to get involved and interfere and things of that nature. And I don't necessarily find that to be the truth. But he also told me something else where he was like, shit, you know, maybe Tom Brady was like, hey, don't nobody draft him. That's my guy. You know what I mean? If you draft him, I'm going to do something. You know, so, you know, it could. I feel like the Raiders still may get Shedeur, but as I said, I don't necessarily want to talk about him. Look, that's fine, Richard Lyon. You can not want him all you want to, but you can't sit here and tell me that all those quarterbacks that went before him are better. You can't tell me Milroe is better than him. You can't tell me Gabriel is better than him. You can't tell me Severo is better than Sanders. Like, no, there's no possible way you could sit there and tell me that all those quarterbacks that went him before him. It shouldn't matter about ego, man. Who cares about what his ego is? I'd rather have a quarterback with a high ego than no ego at all. I'd rather have somebody that thinks the best of themselves than somebody who doesn't think of themselves at all. You know what I mean? He said there aren't 32 players that are better than Shador. There's not. It's not. You know, I feel like he might be being blackballed too. That's a strong possibility, but I know we're sitting here witnessing a travesty. I know we're sitting here witnessing a travesty right now. But like I said, that if we sat here and talked about Shador, man, we'd be sitting here all night, bro. You know what I mean? If we were sitting here talking about Shador, bro, we'd be sitting here talking all night, man. And I don't want to do that. I want to talk about our guys, and to help me with that, you know what I mean, to bring in another opinion of on how he feels, ladies and gentlemen. It's the one and only my brother. We call him the chaplain of NWA. We also call him the CEO of Brown Crackers. You know what I mean? And whatever other home of the Big Shirleys. Ladies and gentlemen, this you know who we are talking about. The one, the only, Mr. Raider Twine. What's good with Twine?
Hey man, blessings to everybody on today, man. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
What's good?
Hey, shit. And nothing. I mean, a lot of things in more ways than one, truthfully. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But a lot of things are great. Um, a lot of things aren't great. But none of that shit is football related, so I ain't gonna worry about it.
Okay.
You
I
know what I
thought you was
mean?
talking about football. I was like, hey,
Yeah,
at least it's day 2. You know what I'm saying? It is this we in the middle of it. So
I,
hopefully whatever you thought needed to get corrected, hopefully they tighten it up. But yeah,
yeah,
that's neither here or there.
man. Tom was locked down on as well, so some of us need a chip on our shoulders to get the best out of. Hey, that's true. That's true. Hey, look, that could be a strong possibility. Tom could have told Shador, "Hey, man, continue with all these antics. We gonna draft you, but we ain't gonna draft you till last. Everybody in NFL knows that you're gonna be a Raider. You know what I mean? You just gonna have to sit there. We gonna have to see how you endure this." And I think that's what the NFL was doing. Because there's no way you could tell me that Shador is not better than these other quarterbacks who have gone before him. I honestly believe they're sitting there like, hey, we want to see how you react to not being drafted in the first 3 rounds now, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I knew the Giants wasn't going to draft him. I knew that. And I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm telling you, bro, somebody please show me where the Giants have ever drafted a black quarterback.
Hey, all you had to do was look at their war room.
Dylan is not better, not by a long shot. Dylan Gabriel or Gabriel Dylan, whatever his name is, from Oregon.
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, he is not better than Shador, bro. Not by a long shot. Especially not that boy Severo. I'm not hating on anybody going to the NFL, but who the hell is he? And where did he come from?
You know what it is? It is because he's the prototypical, size, and he's 6'4", and but
When did 6'4" become undersized for a quarterback?
no, I'm talking about that's what 6'4" is.
No. Somebody told me he was undersized, and I was like, "Well, when did 6'4" become undersized for a quarterback?"
Dylan Gabriel's undersized, but the show guy, he's 6'4".
Bro, who's that? Who's that boy that played in Arizona? Kyler Murray. What is he? 5'9"?
killed us the last time we played him too.
Look, all I'm saying is this is some bullshit, bro. This right here is some bullshit. This some BS. And this the type of shit that needs to stop. You know what I mean? This is the type of shit that needs to stop. That's all I'm saying, man. This shit don't make no sense.
There's so many things I could say right now, but I'm just.
He said, I heard they already making a movie about Genty played by Kevin Hart.
He about that short.
He said, we pick Sue, might get Sanders. Maybe. 6'2", 6'3" is normal. 6'4" and a half is ideal, but whatever. Hey, I'm just saying, you got quarterbacks that's 5'9" starting in the NFL, man. You can't tell me, ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me to knock on him. Oh, he's 6'4", he's undersized. Yeah. Since when? Since when is 6'4" undersized? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm at a loss for that one, bro. I'm definitely at a loss for that one. Trying to get to some more of these chats, you know what I mean? Fox News Canada said Trump likes Sanders so much because they do have successful dads and talk themselves out of the draft. That's a good one right there, Raiders. Raiders why? That's a good one right there, Brody. That one's pretty funny right there. Said fuck the Giants, who cares? Yeah, Milroe is not better, but dude, why? What is going on with my camera, man?
It's crazy that they got rid of somebody like Geno Smith to draft a guy that's similar to Geno Smith.
Bro, it don't make no sense.
But then they pay a whole bunch of money to have Sam Darnold, which is not like a Geno Smith. So I don't know what the Seahawks are doing over there in terms of that. I thought the shoe in for Milroe would have been Baltimore.
Man.
To be the backup to to Lamar.
Look, I believe I said this. I believe all of these quarterbacks need to sit and learn.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I think they all need to sit and learn. But I think at this point in time, Geno is probably the best quarterback for Shador to sit and learn behind right now. Reason why? Same shit happened to Geno. Geno was supposed to be a first-round draft pick, slid all the way down to what, late third, early fourth, something like that. Day 3 pick, if I'm not mistaken, was a day 3 pick. You know, came and sat in the green room for 2 days. So, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if the Chiefs' reign is over, bro. They bolstered their offensive line. You know what I mean? They addressed the need that of concern for their team, bro. You know, they weren't weak in a whole lot of places but that offensive line, and they addressed that. They sure enough addressed that. And got stronger on the defensive front, too.
Who's that?
So, huh?
What team?
The Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In this draft, all they had was one job.
Fix the offensive line.
Yeah, exactly.
O-line.
You know, everybody says you know, when you get mad at somebody, you only had one job. Yeah, the Chiefs only had one job.
They had one fucking job.
Offensive line.
Fix the offensive line, bro. That was it. That was all they had to do.
Anything else is extra. So all those pass rushers they got added to them. Yeah.
I picked up a new rolling tray today, man. I'm trying to get that bitch. Yeah. Look at this shit.
Okay.
It's a magnet too. So West Side on these niggas, bro. West Side till we die. That's how we doing it.
So what did you think about the draft?
We had talked earlier. You know what I mean? We had talked earlier, and I told you I was gonna have to wait to see what they do, right, with the rest of the draft. I'm a solid A.
Okay.
To B plus, somewhere in that area. You know what I mean? Even if it was B plus being the worst grade I can give them, still not a bad grade. Still not a bad grade. You know what I mean? Still a really good grade.
Yeah.
You know, so I need to see, like, Genty was an out the park. We all know. Now that you addressed the offensive line, that was a out the park home run. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, no questions asked. But I'm nervous with the 2 picks in the middle. Even though I like both of them, I'm still nervous about Betch and Porter. The only reason I'm nervous about Porter is because Porter played 3 years wide receiver, 1 year as a corner. So his senior year, he was a corner. So you know what I mean? And he's being drafted off what he did in his senior year. And it's not very much. So he's only got 1 year at corner.
So this is something here. He has the makings of Richard Sherman.
Look, and I think Sherman was the same. He was a converted wide receiver into a corner.
Yeah, that might have been where Pete Carroll said, "Hey, I see this in him. I know how to get this out of him." You know what I'm saying? And we know Pete Carroll defensively, he works with the corners. You know what I'm saying? He coaches the corners. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain way that he's gonna have the corners doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Even under Patrick Graham. So yeah, I think and I agree with you. And this is what I said yesterday about Genty, because I wasn't on the Genty boat. I was saying we need to get O-line before we get a running back, but they backed it up in day 2 and address that. Now the question is are these guys going to be out the plastic ready to go? I don't think so. I think these are going to be guys that are going to be possibly, of course they're going to compete, but they're going to have to get coached up, and eventually they'll be solid for us. So I think the guys that they got in the 3rd round, I think they got value from those guys, and obviously if they got them in the 3rd round, they believe that they are either fringe, rotation, or possible looking at them to be a starter. So I'm for it, especially with again, you got Genty. We don't need to have Genty, as soon as the quarterback gives him the ball, there's already a defender in his lap. You know what I'm saying? We need to have that O-line blocking up front. So I like what I saw. I told you this offline, and I'll say this on record. I actually do like the wide receiver. I don't know necessarily how they're going to, deploy him with all the other guys that we have. Of course, Jacoby Myers is there, and you have all the other weapons. But he's one of those guys that when I looked at the tape, he was always getting open. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, he always seemed to get open. So if that's what we got out of him, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Is he the traditional, X, wide receiver? Not necessarily, but if you put all these guys together, and you got Jacoby Myers that we know he gets open, Jack Besh, he gets open. I think we might have something there with the offense. So the Porter guy, again, I'm gonna have to dig into tape on that one. But again, it has the makings, the size, and of course, obviously, the wide receiver to corner connection to Richard Sherman. So, obviously, it seems like Carroll is with that. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that I didn't like today. The only thing that I wish we would have addressed was something in the linebacker room. I think we were in a position where we could have addressed and actually got a bona fide starter at linebacker at one point in the draft. But you know what they got on the table. I give it an A minus. I give it an A minus. It can go down to a B, depends on what they do tomorrow. But yeah, right now I just think we need we need a linebacker. We need a linebacker that's ready to go. And I don't know, unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Now, looking at the draft, there's a edge / linebacker that's still out there. And I hope that they pull the trigger on him, because even Max Crosby talked about him as somebody that he liked coming out the draft.
No, I understand. I definitely understand you. I hear you. Your valid points. Like I said, I don't dislike the Betch. You know what I mean? I don't dislike it. I'm just not overjoyed by it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of them picks where you got to see how they work it.
Yeah.
If it don't work, if they don't work it the right way, see, like I said yesterday, I didn't get too high on the Genty pick because I was like, bro, that's nice, but this offensive line. Now, I thought that maybe it was just me, but then I was watching some more Raiders shorts yesterday, shorts videos on YouTube, not watching his shorts on I'll be on that weird shit sometimes. Watching the shorts, and a lot of fans saying the same thing.
Yeah,
it's a nice pick, but we got to address that offensive line for this pick to actually be. And I did my show first, and then I watched some other shit. I don't watch at the days that I know I'm going on. I don't watch anybody's shit at all. I don't watch nobody's takes. I don't watch nobody's old film, new film, nothing. I don't watch nothing the whole day. You know what I mean? I just watch fucking like ESPN and NFL is all I really watch today.
The
you
basic.
Know what I mean? Yeah, the basic stuff. You know what I mean? Is what I watched. I didn't watch no other content creator today. You know what I mean? I didn't watch any other content creator. Well, I did, but it had nothing to do with Raiders. It had everything to do with like Harley Davidsons and shit like that. You know what I mean? I watch content creators that shit like Mr. Outside and everything's regular, and you know what I mean, just Dre, you know what I mean? So like just different, different guys, GQ, you know what I mean, with the Peace Army and traveling to all. Anyways, I watch a lot of Harley shit, you know what I mean, as well. So when I know there's days that I'm going on, all I watch is ESPN, and on YouTube I watch my Harley shit. You know what I mean? And then there's days that I'm not going on, and I'll support other people's shows. I really like watching people live more than I like watching reruns, but I'll watch your reruns and comment, and you know what I mean, or not comment and just like it and keep on going. You know what I mean?
I'll appreciate that too. Go ahead and hit that like button on all my stuff. Yeah. For real.
But Alex M, I've been having this on the screen for a minute. I want to get to some more. Look, one thing I can tell you about the Philadelphia Eagles, bro, they haven't missed in the draft in what, 5 years, 6 years?
Probably
bro,
longer than that.
They're maybe longer than that, bro. You might be right, bro. You might be. It may have started 7 years ago, but as of lately, bro, they knock it out the park every year, bro. They draft really well. They got a safety, you know what I mean, that was high on my draft board that I wanted. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a monster over there. He's gonna learn and play the defense really well, man. Like the Eagles is, bro. They are phenomenal when they get when they draft, bro. still should sign Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen is signed, isn't he? If I'm not mistaken, Keenan Allen is signed. Let me double check. I could be wrong, J Dog, but I was under the impression that Keenan Allen had signed with somebody already.
Yeah.
Oh, he is currently a free agent. He is. Hey, look, that's a guy that's been on my board that I've wanted. I ain't gonna lie. I would take Keenan Allen, bro. I would take Keenan Allen, J Dog, in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. That's a guy that was on my board from day one. You know, so yeah, I'll take him. You know what I mean? I'll take him. I'll take him. I thought he had signed. I was just under because we haven't heard about him. I just was under the impression that he had signed somewhere.
He was over. He was over there with the Bears, and then he got hurt with the Bears.
Hey, all I need Keenan Allen to do is be healthy and play in the red zone.
You asking a lot for him to be healthy because it seemed like he been injured almost every season.
I just need Keenan Allen to play inside the 20, bro. That's it. From the goal line up to the 20, I got other people, bro. But inside that 20-yard line, I'll even shorten it up. 15 yards and in. That's when I need Keenan Allen, bro. That big body target. You ain't gonna get used a whole lot. You know what I mean? You're gonna have 17 touchdowns on the season with 26 targets. That's how I'm using Keenan Allen, bro. You know what I mean? I might bring you in on some third down, you know what I mean? Some 3rd and 3s or some 3rd and 4s, you know what I mean? I might bring a big body in for that. But other than that, bro, I don't need Keenan Allen throughout the whole, you know what I mean? I mean, if he's healthy, cool. By all means, run him. He's a good wide receiver. But if I'm being honest, if you use him at this point inside the 15-yard line with a Brock Bowers, with a Jacoby, you know what I mean, with these big body wide receivers that you got, you know what I mean, making big targets, bro, he's bound to get open. He's bound to get open.
There's a lot of wide receivers still out there too.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Hey, look, use Keenan Allen within the 20, in the red zone. You know what I mean? He is a red zone threat. He's a red zone target. Big body guy. Yeah. He won't need to cook a lot. Alfredo, he won't. He won't have to cook a lot. I'm telling you, 17 touchdowns and 26 targets for 322 yards, bro. That'll be the most lopsided stats you ever seen in your life. Can you imagine 17 touchdowns on 26 targets for only 300 and something yards on the whole season? That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
What?
No, I was just looking at what's the players that are left.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Hey, look, I'll take the chance on I told you, I want both the Sanders, bro. I want Shiloh and Shador. I want them both. I want Shiloh to come in here and fight for a position. I want to see if he really got the dog in him that I think he do. And I'm not saying you got to draft him, but if you draft him in the 6th or 7th round, or even if you get him on a UDFA, I would love to see Shiloh here, bro. I think the kid is a dog. I want to see if he got that dog in him that I think he got. You know.
Hey, look, I'll say this: if you get Shador, if you draft Shador, it'll be easy to get Shiloh on a UDFA, and I would say that's a steal.
Yeah, that's a steal.
So, look, you know, and That's we'll see, because there's actually another safety that I'm looking at too that's still out there, and I'm like, why is he still out here? Yeah, but yeah, there's I'll just say the names. The linebacker that Max Crosby likes, he's also a linebacker and an edge, and that's Jack Sawyer from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one that you can get and fulfill that. They always talk about that Leo role. Well, you can have Jack Sawyer play that Leo role. Sometimes blitz, sometimes cover, and he's done both at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Safety wise, I like Billy Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. So there's a whole. I just looked at the list. I'm like, oh, he's still out there. Oh, he's still out there. Oh, he's still out there. So we got how many picks we got? Like 6. We got 6 more picks or something like that.
Something like that.
They can clean up if they do it right.
If they do it right.
It was kind of interesting, and I know that some people were tripping out on why did the Raiders keep trading back.
Well, you picked up 3 extra players.
Yep. And it worked out because the in the draft, we talked about this last year with DJ Glaze. People were talking about DJ. We drafted DJ Glaze so high. The reason why we drafted DJ where we drafted DJ was because there was a run on offensive tackles, and if we didn't jump in when we jumped in and got Glaze, we would have been really out of luck. So in this situation, there was a run on edge rushers, and I guess they felt like we were pretty much good, DN edge kind of thing like that at that point. So they felt like, oh, I could trade back, gain some more capital, because what I really need is going to be right there in the third. So as soon as he started trading back in the second, I was like, okay, well, he must be seeing that the pool of players that he wants, or the guys that he's really looking at, are all in the third. So he's trying to get as many picks as he can so he can just fire off, like he can in the third. It was kind of it kind of sucked though, because we had a pick early, and then we had a pick all the way at the end. So it wasn't like we had, a stretch of the third, but there was 3 picks in the third.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to Dirty Raider, Natural Born Raider, and Raiders Allegiance. Also, Raider Twan. Go ahead and do that. Mods, go ahead and put that out there so that they can support us freely by liking and subscribing. You guys let me know in the chat. I'm gonna look at some of you guys' comments down here at the end. How did you guys feel about the trade back? Like, what was your initial thoughts? Were you like, oh heck no, or were you actually like? And I'll start off. When I saw that they were trading back, and we traded back a whole bunch of times, I got excited, because there was times in previous drafts where we weren't able to trade back because nobody was willing to work with us. but it seemed like they're working with John Spytek and Pete Carroll and staff. So I think that's a positive for us as Raiders that, moving forward, hopefully that we'll be able to do business and not get not get played, because that's a part of the game too. Like, okay, I'll do a deal with you, but it's gonna cost you more than it really should. And I don't think that was the case with a lot of the guys. The deals that we got, the trades that we got, and the value that we got, I think it was actually worth it. But you guys let me know. Let me know in the chat how you guys thought about that. Willie Gray said the presser after the first round, Spytek said they would. Yeah, and he was, we were where we were in the draft. I think we were in a good spot. Well, we're in a good spot in general, because we're on the top part of the draft, in every draft. So, I mean, every round. So it's more of, can I get what I want right now, or can I actually trade back and still get what I want and some, right? And I think that's where it came in, like today. We got a good deal from the Dolphins, I think. I don't think there was any trade that I saw, because sometimes they show like what who you got, this and this and this and this. Like the trades that we made and the value that we got, I didn't think we got played, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Alfredo said, "I love the Ashton Jeanty pick. Look, hey, I'm starting to like it more now. Like I said, I was very uncomfortable, just drafting Jeanty, because again, here we are with here we are Raider wise, right? Here we are, kind of with what is it, postpartum, whatever that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Just that fear, not fear, but just that kind of like, you know what the Raiders usually do, right? And I didn't want to be in a situation where we got Jeanty, but we didn't do anything for that offensive line. And I know that there will be people in the Raider Nation that may not necessarily follow football like me or some of us, and see, we got Jeanty, and expect that expect the running game is going to just turn over night and day. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. That is not the case. So I was really like, they better get O-line, because if this Jeanty pick don't pan out, then I'm already hearing the rumblings of the Raider Nation in my head of what's possibly going to go wrong if they go this direction, and someone has that, some of us have that disillusional thought that, we got Jeanty and that's going to fix all of our problems. It ain't. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. you could have the best running back in the world, and if he doesn't have a good offensive line or a decent offensive line, he's not going to produce in the way that he ought to produce. You know, all the lovely highlights that we even saw from Genty in college, you know what I'm saying? You saw him cutting through, and the line was making holes for him and gaps for him. And of course, there was times where he had to make something out of nothing, but that's what you need. You know, Frank White said Raiders taking Shador. Hey, look, if they take Shador, hey, I think that's a good draft. You get your quarterback for the future. He can sit behind Geno Smith. Geno Smith can teach him the ins and outs of the game, right? All the things that they talk about in regards to Shador, in regards to he holds the ball, holds on to the ball too long. Guess who had to learn about that? Geno Smith. So to have him teach Shador, like, hey, you need to get the ball out. You know what I'm saying? And have that mentorship going on, it would benefit us. It would benefit us in the long run. It really would.
I had to my sons are trying to try on their suits and tuxedos and stuff for prom tomorrow. Yeah. They needed daddy's input real quick on. My son was like, Dad, the pants don't fit over the shoes. I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? It's like that. It's like, no, man, they're not supposed to fit over the shoes. You got on J's. The pants is just supposed to come right to the tip of the J's. They're not even supposed to touch each other.
Hey,
and then I had to see his sock game, and he had on plain white athletic socks. I said, no. I said, no.
I love to say that. I was like, hey, sometimes when you have a suit like that, because I wear suits too. So some of my suits, the leg is actually a little shorter. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really even touching the shoes because I want them to see my socks. You know what I'm saying? I want them to see the sock game. You know what I'm saying? So
the shoe ain't look, the pants ain't supposed to touch the shoe. The pants ain't supposed to touch the shoe. When it comes to a suit, the pants ain't supposed to touch the suit. You know what I mean? The suit pants ain't supposed to touch the shoes. They're a separate entity. And then there's a sock in between that. And you have my son doesn't have a sock game, bro.
You got to coordinate.
Man, I said, bro, what do you mean, bro? You got on these fly ass Jordans, bro.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Jordan ones, royal blue and black. You know what I mean? The white. You know what I mean? Because the tie is royal blue, the suit is black, the shirt is white. You know what I mean? The shoes got all three colors in it. You know what I mean? It's fly. Shit is fly. See, you know what I mean? Shit is fly. I ain't gonna hold you. You know, the shoe fly a motherfucker, bro. But
see, what I would do with them socks is I would get. You said black, blue.
I'll post the pictures when I take them.
No, but what colors is it?
Black, blue, and white.
See, I would have some like a polka dot sock. So it'd be like black with white dots, or you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, blue with white dots.
I think I'm gonna give him either. I got some the office socks in there. I got some office socks. You know what I mean? The TV show The Office.
Uh-huh.
I got some of those in there. I got some Top Guns that I can give him. I got some Top Gun socks, you know what I mean, with the Maverick on it and the planes flying. And I got some of those. I got I got a sock game, bro. You know what I mean? On the golf course, they call me Socks. You know what I mean? When I go to play with the homies, they be like, oh shit, here comes Socks. what socks got on today, bro? Cause I got a sock game when it come to playing golf, bro. You see my socks. You know what I mean? Like this nigga got the socks. Huh? That's what they call me. I always stay with a fresh pair of socks. So, and I buy designer socks. Well, not designer, but you know what I mean. I buy shit with shit on them. You know what I mean? I don't just buy your normal striped socks or nothing like that, bro. I buy with characters and different sayings. And I got a pair of hot sauce socks, Tabascos, El Tapatillas, Top Ramens. You know what I mean? I got some Mr. Krabs. You know, I got some SpongeBob socks, Squidworths. I got Star Wars socks, bro. I got Star Trek socks. You know, bro. I got it. My wife says I have an addiction. I have an addiction to two things: socks and Hot Wheels. You know what I mean? Yeah. For some reason, I always have to buy socks and Hot Wheels, bro. When I see them, I don't know.
Hey, Frank said something about shout out to Wild, good to see you, man. Frank said something about Shador don't need the money.
He don't.
But I get that. I get that. I get that he's financially okay, right? But you ain't gonna tell me that if I got an option, if I got 10 million already in the bank, and you telling me I got an option to make another 2 million, I'm not gonna go make that 2 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hate when other people and this is not towards you, Frank, but I just hate when other people are in other people's pockets and saying, "Oh, they don't deserve that." What qualifies that they're not deserving of that? You know what I'm saying? Because as far as I'm concerned, I think Shador should have been drafted in the first round, and whatever money he should have got in the first round is what he deserved.
Hey, look, Shador, because I said it about the money too, and somebody else told me, it was a money thing as well. Shador's in the Gatorade commercial. He ain't even made it to NFL yet.
Yeah,
he in a Gatorade commercial with Kendrick Lamar, the most famous person in the world right now.
Yeah.
Aside from Pope Francis, may he rest in peace. His funeral is tomorrow. You ain't gonna see nothing else on TV but that. That's all you're gonna see on TV. You might catch because the draft is later, you'll see the draft later. No. I don't know how you're gonna see the draft because everybody gonna be on the Pope Francis funeral. I'll tell you that right now. Every single channel in the world, from Telemundo to whatever, the WB. You know what I mean? Even if they're still around, you know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna be on that.
I think ESPN and NFL Network will hold it down.
ESPN might even be at the funeral.
They'll have some people there, but it won't be like,
Yeah, I know. It's gonna get covered.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the most watched covered thing tomorrow. You know what I mean? And then you got what? And you got DAY2. So you got 4 and 5 tomorrow, or 4, 5, 6, and 7.
What?
Draft tomorrow. Rounds tomorrow.
It's all tomorrow.
It's all tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, because they don't draft on Sunday, they used to. A long time ago, they used to draft on Sunday. Yeah, but they start early enough in the day, and the rounds are way faster. You know what I mean?
Tell me about it, man.
Way faster. Yeah, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. Because look, I'm old school, bro. That's how long I've been watching, bro. I remember when it was 4 days, bro. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I mean? And it took forever. But now I'm glad that it's down to a 3 day because the last 3 rounds you could fly through those rounds really. You know what I mean? So how many we got 9 picks left tomorrow? Is that correct? We got 9 tomorrow?
What do you mean 9?
9 picks tomorrow. How many picks do we have left tomorrow?
6.
6.
Because we got 11 total.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, dang, did he make some night moves or something? We didn't follow or something? Did he? You know what I'm saying? Did Spike Tech holler at somebody and say, "Hey, slide me some extra picks"? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna slide down and make this deal. Like, yeah, man. Hey, Spike Tech is they dealing. They dealing. It's just and I say this every year. It may not necessarily be the player you want, but if they address the position, then you just have to trust that whoever that person is their guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. There were some some other corners that I liked, but obviously they feel like that was the guy that that was they do.
Yeah.
Just be glad they addressed it. Man, hey, there was one point where we could have messed around and had a real good running back room because we could have got Genty and then pulled the trigger on Henderson. You know what I'm saying? Like there was we were like in that range, but I think they're good at where they're at. They might get one later. Don't be surprised they might get one like a 6th round running back, or you know what I'm saying, something like that.
Shit, they got 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. So they should be able to do damage. You know what I mean? They should be able to do damage. I mean, you got 2 in the 4th, so you don't really need a 5th. You know what I mean? Whatever you was gonna pick in the 5th, you could pick in the 4th. So I don't mind sitting out around. It's gonna go by quick, but then you get to round 6, and then you got 3 picks. You know what I mean? You got to pick, and then you got to wait a minute. Then you got to pick somebody in between you, and then another pick.
Watch he trade back in the 4th.
For what?
I'm just saying.
And to who?
I look. I don't know at this point because you have. I mean, what would we like? Wide receiver, maybe another running back.
Let me see what's available in the 4th round.
Linebacker, of course.
Who's going to trade up and give up something? Let me see.
Safety.
Look, I would trade with if Carolina wanted to move up. I would trade with Carolina. I would trade with Carolina in the 4th if they wanted to move up to 6 from 12. But I want 12. I want their number 12, and I want their number 20 pick in the 4th round. Yeah. Yep. I want your 12 and your 20 in the 4th, and I give you the 33. You know what I mean? And we can just swap picks like that. So I move up once, you know what I mean? And you move up once, and then you move back once, I move back once. That's a fair one. That's fair.
There's probably people that they already having conversations with on which they want to, trade.
Yeah.
If something comes up,
If it's a team that's gonna trade up, though, bro, you need to have multiple picks, man. We need to talk. You know what I mean? Philadelphia is another team I would consider trading with. You know what I mean? They got 2 picks in the 4th as well. So they can move up from 9 to 6. I'd only move back 3 spots, and then we could swap the later round picks. You give me the 28th, and I'll give you the 33. So I mean, I make that move. I would make that move. Saints is another one. Saints got 2 picks in this round. I will make a trade with them as well. You know, so I mean, there's a few teams. There's a few teams, but if we're gonna swap picks, we're gonna, you know, what I mean, I'm not just gonna move back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just saying, or move back one time. Somebody call you to, all right, I'm gonna need both your picks for this one. I'm not giving you my last pick in this round. I need 3 picks out the 4th round. Now, just saying. Depending on how far you move up. You know, like the Panthers, I could probably squeeze both picks out of that for how high they're trying to move up in the 4th round. And I know it's just the 4th round, but it's still a value. I mean, you're still leaping over a whole lot of teams to get the guy you want. You know what I mean? Before he goes somewhere else. So
Hey, hey, Nick, you Cowboys fan. Hey, look, there's so many running backs out there. If y'all ain't stupid enough to go get some of these dudes, I don't know what to tell y'all. Because it's I say there's about 3 or 4 good running backs that you could do that you can get right now that would actually help you guys out. So you say leave a running back for you. There's plenty of running backs out there, but it's up to y'all to go get one when you guys when your number's called.
yeah, yeah, I can't do you no favors.
Because to be honest with you, I seen Micah Parsons and his highlights on how he felt about your draft picks. I don't think y'all been drafting well.
Your owner just needs to sit down. Your owner needs to sit down before he turns y'all into what Al Davis turned us into right before he passed away.
And
I'm
that's
just
not
being
being mean.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest about
being
that.
honest. Yeah, because like again, Cowboys, you guys can go get your you know what I'm saying, running backs. They're still out there.
Well, Wild said it's about break time, isn't it, Dirty?
Always.
Always want to break. Told you I haven't loaded up any new ones yet. You know, I'm tired of showing these old ones.
Wow, maybe you need a break from a break. All right. You need to take a break from the break.
I haven't loaded any new ones yet. That's the problem. I gotta work on some new ones. I used to create new ones like every other day, but like I said, I haven't really had the time.
Hey, you know it's all love, man.
That's all it is. I just haven't had the time to create new ones. You know, I can't keep showing y'all the same thing over and over again. You know, y'all remember I used to have new ones all the time.
You you know what? I know we've been talking about this all, and everybody's talking about it, but part of me kind of wish that Shador like was smoking with the gas mask, or you know what I'm saying, like to have a legit reason as to why he's falling. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was it, Tunsil or somebody? It was, yeah, I think it was Tunsil that had the gas mask, and he fell. You know what I'm saying, in the draft. Like, what is the real legit reason?
It's a good question. That's a damn good question. And I don't have an answer for you, bro. I honestly don't have an answer for you. I'm I'm just as puzzled as anybody else. I'm just as puzzled as anybody else, man. It honestly, it don't really make any sense. It don't make any sense at all.
Dang, Dylan Gabriel came off the board.
Yeah, exactly.
And watch somebody draft yours.
That you?
Huh?
No, it was tap, tap, and tap and tap. I was wondering, is that you?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't. I don't necessarily really want to get into it because, like I said, it's you be all day talking about that shit. You know what I mean? You be all day.
Yeah. Go down that rabbit hole and be all theoretic. So what would you like to see um from the team or from day 3?
What do I want to see from day 3? I want to see. I want to see Shador go somewhere. I don't care where it is. I want to see Shador go somewhere. Um, for us, just give me some late round productive players, man. Give me some late round productive. Look, you got a running back, right? Something we needed. You addressed the need. We got a running back, a good one, a great one. Hopefully, a great one, a good one right now. Hopefully, he
Yeah.
can be great, right? You got a wide receiver, decent. Hopefully, can elevate to more. But as it stands right now, decent, you know. And then you got a corner, right? You got a corner. You needed a corner. You got a tall, fast corner. You got 2 linemen. Something else you needed. At this point in time, man, just keep addressing positions in need. Get the best thing that you can possibly get. Make sure that they're all productive, even with it being late round players.
I will, like I said, I would love to get Jack Sawyer over here. I think he would run havoc defensively for us. Him himself presents a problem
I hear you.
because you now you could actually have 3 linebackers lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Have Jack Sawyer be that
6. We got 6.
6 picks.
Yeah, he said how many picks? We have 6 left.
Yeah, we got 6 left.
Look, you could pick up Shador and still pick up a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Or you could pick up a whole bunch of other shit and still pick up Shador. Wait, this is going, bro.
Hey, look, look. I was sitting here, you know what I'm saying, watching 2 and 3, and I'm like, Okay, that team got a quarterback. That team got a quarterback and a backup quarterback. That team got a backup quarterback and a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, why are we the only team that really ain't solid like that? You know what I'm saying? For all those people that don't believe AOC can be a backup quarterback or he don't fit the system. Well, how about we go ahead and do that? Now, I'll say this. What happens if we don't get Shador, but we get Will Howard?
Well,
what would be your feeling on that?
hold on real quick. Wild Turkey, like my alcohol, I have expensive tastes. When it comes to my chocolates, I like good chocolates. Nice, tasty, wonderful.
Actually, I need to go to the actually Ghirardelli in San Francisco. I heard they got some non-dairy ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
They got like a non-dairy sundae. I was like, okay. For
Yeah,
those
J-Dog, I like to put nice things in my body, man. You know what I mean? Food wise, I like tasty stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that.
I like tasty stuff. You know, I'm not Kanye West. I'm not sucking penis till I'm 14.
Ooh. What made you say that? Man. Hey, look. Just get
what
some
made
help.
you write a song like that?
I feel bad for Kanye. He hasn't been right since his mom died. The best album he had was College Dropout.
That wasn't. I mean, it. Yeah. You know, what I mean, it was one of them. It was one of them. College Dropout. What was the other one?
The 808.
No, not that one. The first two he did. College Dropout and fuck, you gonna
Was
make
it
me
like
look
last
this up.
registration or something like that?
Yeah, late registration.
Late registration, yeah.
Late registration. 808, 808 and Heartbreaks was dope though. I ain't gonna lie, 808 and Heartbreaks was a dope album. Black Skinhead I didn't like. I didn't like that album. He had a song or two on it, but for the most part, I didn't like the album as a whole. You know what I mean? I just didn't like the album as a whole. You can't just have one or two songs on your album. So yeah. But yeah, look, what kills me is
No Diddy this draft.
I told everybody Kanye needed help when he was with the Kardashians, bro. Come to find out, the Kardashians was actually trying to get this dude some help. But everybody just kept writing it off. Now all of a sudden, he need help. 10 years later, he need help. Man, I've been told y'all this kid needed help. Y'all just kept feeding it on. I was telling y'all, this man was crying for help, screaming out for attention. And now he writing songs about sucking dick till he was 14, bro. This is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Enough. Enough is enough. Stop it. You're over here admitting to pedophilia and shit, bro. No, stop, bro. Stop. I know y'all was both kids, but stop. The world don't need to know everything.
Right.
The world don't need to know everything, bro. And as far as much money as you make, look, this is the first time that I've agreed with Charlemagne the God in a very long time, bro. For as much money as you have and make, there's no reason why you can't afford help. I could see if you was on the streets with no money, different story. For as much money as you're worth and you have, there's no reason why you can't afford real help, bro. Just saying. And I don't even really agree with Charlemagne on a lot of things, but I will agree with him on that.
he be off sometimes too.
He said Kanye getting divorced again. Well, shit, yeah. Wouldn't you divorce a person if they told you they was sucking dick till they was 14 and it was their cousin? And then on top of that, bro, look, I knew they was gonna get. I knew at some point in time she was gonna get tired of dressing like that in public, showing all her public hairs, bucket naked, showing all that public hairs. Just saying. Some point in time, she was gonna get tired of that shit. So, yeah, I'm with you though, Twan. I think he lost his mind when his mom died. I think he lost all sanity when his mom passed.
Hey, Walt, I didn't move. I actually, this is well, yeah, I did move. I'll say that I did move because this ain't the Ahern.
Yeah, it's not the Ahern.
This ain't the Ahern.
Just a different view of, view of the skyline. It's a different view of the skyline.
Yeah. I'm being lazy, to be honest with you.
Nah, the terrible accident he had was before his mom passed. That his mom was still alive. That accident he had was before before we knew he was Kanye West.
Oh, the one that the metal detector one. Yeah.
Yeah. That was before we even knew who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. So you can't blame it on that accident. You know what I mean? You can't blame it on that accident because we loved Kanye after that. But you can blame it on his mom passing. He lost his sanity after that. But that accident, that was before, you know what I mean? That was what Through the Wire was all about. Was about that accident. You know what I mean? And that was his first hit, like big hit. Through the Wire, through the limits, yeah, that shit. Yeah, nah. Money is a hell of a drug, bro. Money is a hell of a drug. If he ain't on anything, he chasing that high of the dollar. You know what I mean? Because 1 minute he was 1 million, he was a billionaire. 10 minutes later, he was broke. Just like that. 10 minutes later, he was broke. You know what I mean? So, but they had to give him the money back because contractually, he didn't break any obligations contractually. So they had to give all that money back and continue on with their deal. I mean, with what they had. They still had to pay him for his shit, and then separate ties afterwards.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to,
But no, back to the question that I had for you. Would you, if they, what if they, instead of going with Shador, they went with Will Howard?
whatever you feel is in the best interest of the team. Right? Whatever you feel is in the best interest of the team. I think Shador, for some reason, is being blackballed from the NFL. I don't know. Whatever reason it is. You know what I mean? Look, they want that. Look, everybody always said, "Oh, Deion thinks he's bigger than NFL." Deion never said he was bigger than NFL. He said he was more than the NFL. There's a difference. I don't know, Wild Turkey. That's the thing about it. Not there's not many teams that need a quarter. We're the only team left that needs a quarterback. That truly actually really needs another quarterback on their roster. We're the only team left. If I'm being honest, we're the only team left that actually needs a quarterback on their roster. A backup. You know what I mean? Or a future quarterback. You know what I mean? We're the only team that needs one. So honestly, if it's not us, bro, I don't know where he goes. Honestly, if it's not us, I don't know where he goes. And you remember, you got to think, bro. He's got NIL deals up the yin yang, right? Nah, they don't need a quarterback anymore. They got Dylan Gabriel, Oregon. They drafted him today.
Who?
The Browns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's really bad about that? It's going to be another situation where he's going to be in the quarterback graveyard. He's going to be one of the names on that long list of quarterbacks
that never
panned out for them in a Browns uniform. Because it's not all on Dylan Gabriel. I think Dylan Gabriel has some talent at quarterback, but when you have a toxic organization and a poor ran organization, everything else goes down the tubes.
I don't know if Jacksonville takes Shedeur though. Honestly, I don't know because they got Trevor, and they owe him a lot of money. They owe him a lot of money. He ain't going nowhere for at least another 2 years.
It's not like
maybe 3.
It's not like they're trying to move on from him.
I mean, yeah, they did take Travis Hunter, and it would be a great pairing. It would work out fabulous for him. It does make sense. I just don't know if that's something they'll do.
No, they don't want that.
Man, at this point in time, even if you draft him, he's still gonna have a chip on his shoulder for where he's playing at. Because everybody didn't pass him by. So I know what you think of me. You know what I mean? I know what you think of me.
Whatever.
I'm gonna do everything I can to prove everybody wrong, bro. I want that.
He's gonna be killing people in preseason.
I want that, bro. I want that. I want the doubt. I want to show y'all why I was so fucking cocky and why y'all want to label me as, oh, he arrogant. He don't want to play no ball. The Jamie Foxx syndrome from Any Given Sunday. The Willie Beeman. You know what I mean? It's the Willie Beeman.
And they wonder why that movie is so. They talk about that movie being one of the movies that's very close to real NFL football.
Uh-huh.
And we saw it today.
You saw it. Yeah.
Or been seeing it. I'll say it like that because this is the aftermath of what was already been brewing and taking place on all these media platforms that said, oh, the anonymous coach said that he's this, or this anonymous coach said that about him, but nobody's willing to put their name on it.
Nope. Nobody want to stand up
and say, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I said
it's all
that.
good. It's all good. But we are coming up on that hour 45 in a minute. You know what I mean? Any last closing thoughts for today and what's ahead of for tomorrow?
Yeah, man. I think this draft. I think where we are right now in the draft. I think we addressed what took care of what was in day one with day two. Let's just see if they stack on this more. Like I said, I would love to see a linebacker come in here. I would love to see another corner come in. Um, there's a lot of still good talent on the board too. So we'll see what Spy Tech does. I'm starting to believe in what we got here with Spy Tech and Carroll, with what they're bringing in. Because there's nobody that I would say, oh hell no, to as to they drafted. So um, let's just see how it works out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Bro thought he was gonna start. He was having a late night peach cobbler. Some would argue that it's too late for this. Yeah, hey, look, I don't know. Hey, I know Loon was at a bar, and yeah, hey, everybody knows what happened when you come home from the bar. You know what I mean? So it's nothing wrong with passing out. You know what I mean? It's nothing wrong with passing out. It happens. It is what it is. He probably enjoyed himself way too much at the
Yeah,
bar with Raider fans. Watching the draft, having a good time, and
which is easy to do.
which is easy to do. Which
It's
is very
easy to
easy to
do.
do. So can't be mad at him for that. You know, maybe he'll pop up tomorrow. I won't. My kids got prom, so I'll be gone. You know what I mean? I'm sure I got to pick them up. I know I'm dropping them off. I'm sure I got to pick them up. You know what I mean? That's probably right around the time, or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. You know what I mean? I know my wife needs a break. She's worked 5 days in a row, so I know she's gonna need a break from little man. She's gonna need to get some sleep. So yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I'll try and do something. I'll try and talk about something tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Sunday. Maybe maybe I'll do something Sunday. You know, after the dust settles and we start signing from UDFAs. We'll just
Yeah.
have it. Yeah. Or just address all of it at one time. You know, Sunday, Monday, somewhere in that area. So, anyways, uh, my final thoughts for today and tomorrow. Hey, great job, Raiders. You know what I mean? Front office, great job. You know, keep doing your damn thing. Um, Keep me on the edge of my seat. I wasn't happy for a minute, but then y'all made me smile. And look, hey, look, I'm gonna just trust the process. I'm gonna just trust the process. Hopefully tomorrow, you know what I mean, you guys finish knocking it out the park and you get a total grade of an A. I would love to give you guys a total overall grade of like an A plus. You know what I mean? That would be fabulous. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I'm at. Other than that, man, 50 billion things on the face of the planet you could be doing. The fact that you allowed us to grace your screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated. More than I could verbally express. You know, trust the process, Raider Nation. Just trust the process. With that being said, fuck who hates you, who fucking loves you. Go get your motherfucking sunshine. Raider Nation, we out.